Okay, welcome to yoga again, you guys. Every day we have yoga. Just like we hydrate, we have some food, we have some yoga, we have some rest, we have some movement, we have the daily essentials. Oh, yeah, glad to see you. Let's take a comfortable seat to get started. And if you want to sit on the floor, of course, most of you are, but it's also okay to start the class. A couple of you are sitting in chairs, totally fine to do that. Please do make yourself comfortable. Then you can rest your hands in your lap and you're welcome to close your eyes. And let your attention kind of funnel from the outside world to come down and in to the inner world. Yesterday in my neighborhood, you couldn't hear it because I have the microphone that limits what you're hearing. Like it's just my voice going into the microphone. But there was wood chopping, tree cutting, leaf blowing, chainsawing, a wood chipper for almost 8 hours. Today, there is a far off, distant little leaf blower. And what a relief to have just one leaf blower in the distance. So everything is relative. What we notice in life is relative. And we are responsible for our own observations and our responses to what's happening. So when you notice the present moment, whatever it is, of course, you might have preferences, but see if you can accept the present moment as it is, just as it is. And keeping in mind that a significant part of yoga practice is putting wisdom into action. We aren't saying accept the present moment as it is and then simply submit to whatever that becomes. We're not doing this as a practice of apathy or resignation. We practice accepting the present moment because much of it is simply as it is, without need of our preferences nor our interpretations. It's a really kind of high practice to accept things as they are without wanting more of this pleasant sensation or less of that unpleasant sensation. So one reason that we practice this acceptance is that much of the present moment is beyond our orchestration. Another reason that we practice this acceptance is that it kind of sobers the mind so we can come back into our whole brain and our heart and our body so that when we respond to the present moment, whatever it's summoning from us, we can respond from wisdom or clarity. And practicing a few moments more with the simple art of accepting the present moment as it is, simply as it is, which includes accepting yourself in this moment as you are. Now welcome your breathing to deepen so you can partner with this existing intelligence in your body. Inhale and exhale. And when you're deepening the breath, even just this slight bit to begin your practice, try to sense like, where is there freedom for the breath? Where does it feel like it has a little obstacle? What's happening today? And as you're noticing these things, also know that your practice will help you to reconcile the things that can be resolved. It will help you to bring vitality where it's needed and to diminish stagnation or the residue where that is possible. Then we're going to have actually an easier time accepting the present moment as it is and sensing what is wisdom in action. So please join your hands together in Anjali Mudra. And we'll chant together the Gayatri mantra. Please inhale. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. You may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Please open your eyes. So this practice of acceptance of what is happening in the present moment, I want to clarify that we're talking about in this moment within this sphere of your influence and your practice. Of course, during the practice, we also have to accept that life at large is going on around us. My neighbor was having the trees chopped at the wrong time of year, probably for their own purpose, but not considering the creatures that live in those trees or the shade it provided to the neighborhood. And we weren't notified, and they broke the windshield on Jason's motorcycle with a falling branch. So all that's going on while I'm practicing and teaching. So there's an acceptance of within the sphere of our influence, the sphere of what we're actually doing, what our minds and hearts can conceive of right now during our practice. And then in daily life, we also know that there are huge dilemmas going on. And when we practice accepting these moments, we are not in denial about those circumstances. We want this practice to bring our minds and hearts into balance so we can be part of the actions that are needed by society. But if our minds and brains are constantly dysregulated, we won't be able to be a part of clear solutions or wise action or compassion in action either. So that is why I'm saying accepting the present moment today as we start the practice. And we're going to begin actually in table pose. So please come to your hands and knees. And I'll get my microphone and my water glass. Susie, if you get the camera for me. When you come to your hands and knees here, go ahead and face forward. If you're somebody who needs a blanket for your knees, that's totally fine. Of course, I have a double yoga mat here, so I'm just going on the yoga mat. And when you place your hands in table, place them so that your index fingers are parallel to each other and fan the other fingers open from there. And then inhale briefly to cat pose and Press slightly back with your cat pose. And then exhale, briefly come forward to cow pose and actually glide your chest and heart forward. Inhale, roll back towards cat pose. Press just slightly back. And exhale, glide forward to cow pose, coming slightly forward with your upper arms and your heart. Inhale to cat. And exhale to cow. Once more, inhale to cat pose. And exhale forward to table pose. And from this table pose, then place your right hand well forward of your left. Press your fingertips into the floor and lower your left elbow and release your head to balance somewhere near your right upper arm. And then allow the breath to come in smoothly. Now is the time to lengthen the breath cycle, so your inhale will be a bit longer, exhale a little bit longer. And try to sense breathing into the right hemisphere of the body. So right lung, right rib cage, right side waist. And inside the body, you can practice accepting what you're discovering and recognizing that we don't cling to pleasant sensations, nor do we kind of resist unpleasant sensations. We bring this openness or equanimity to everything that is. We might delight in a pleasant sensation, but we resist the urge to prefer that be the ongoing, like clinging, grasping, and attachment. We might acknowledge a difficult sensation, but we don't condemn it or critique it in an adverse way. And press into your left hand, float your right hand back to table, and then take the left hand well forward of your right, press your fingertips into the floor, press your knuckles down as well. You can keep a little lift to the heel of your hand. And a gentle lift to the upper inner left armpit. And breathe in the left hemisphere of your body. As you're breathing in and breathing out through your nose, invite the breath to be longer, smoother, slower. Acknowledging and even delighting in a pleasant sensation, but not clinging for it to go on being the only sensation. And acknowledging difficult sensations, but also without aversion or condemning those sensations. And press into your right hand. Inhale, float yourself back to table pose. Now curl both toes under and raise your hips high to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. Now in downward dog pose, especially if it's your first dog pose of the day, you might actually notice that it's a little bit easier having open the shoulders and the chest right there. As you're breathing, now is the time to start balancing your inhale with your exhale. So you're just gonna lightly count the breath without coercing it. I'm gonna ask you to get to know it and to see if by an inner intention of yours, your inhale and exhale could become more balanced. So you're observing. If you discover that your inhale is quite a bit longer than your exhale, don't become like suppressive of your inhale and demanding of your exhale. Just practice noticing to see if by your intention and your awareness, you can elicit a positive change with your breath. Do one more breath cycle, please. And then come forward to plank pose. And from your plank pose, then exhale down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Come onto your stomach. Put aside that which would be in the way of your arms going out to the side. And when you come down to your belly, now turn your head to your right. Bring your arms down alongside your torso. Okay. Bring your legs together so they're actually touching. Touch the big toes, maybe the inner thighs. Root your tailbone down. And then as you inhale, keep your legs grounded and raise up through your heart, arms, shoulders. Spread your wings, lift the base of your skull. And then exhale and lower down, turn your head to your left. Let's do it a couple times more. Inhale, keep the legs down, grounded and connected to each other. Exhale, rotate your head to your right. Now inhale to rise. Notice the quality of your inhale breath. Exhale to lower, observing the quality of your exhale breath. And here's the last one. Inhale to come up. And now exhale to come down. Place your hands beneath your shoulders and press up to table and then back to kneeling. Okay, so take a little body memory for yourself of what that was like to lift away from gravity with your legs connected and grounded. And now please take a blanket. We're going to do a series of things for the upper back and the neck. Then we'll come back to that experience and see if it's gotten any different. So here's your blanket. Take the lumps out and fold it either in half or in thirds. You're going to fold it in thirds if you have a more flexible upper back. You're going to fold it in half if you have a less flexible upper back. And then please lie down so your upper back is on this blanket. And you have the room overhead for your arms to go. And you have the room out to the side for the arms to sweep wide. Okay. So where you are right now, if you place your shoulder blades on the blanket, you want to feel like then the collarbones are melting down towards the floor from your sternum to your collarbones. And when the arms go out in a T shape, that your shoulders are rolling back towards the floor right here. You close your eyes. Bring your attention inside. Lift your arms 1 inch from the floor and make them longer. And now as you inhale, float both arms up to the ceiling. Invite your palms to touch there. And then exhale, arm shoulder width apart. Take your arms overhead towards the wall behind you. Inhale, float your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, arms out to the side. So inhale, raise your arms, make the breath a little bit longer. The movement of the arms might be like a little bit slower. And exhale, arms overhead, noticing all sensations, accepting what is. Delight in the pleasant, but don't grasp for it. Inhale, float your arms up. Acknowledge the unpleasant, but please don't kick it to the curb. It probably has information for you. Exhale, arms out to the side. And now one more time, inhale to go up. Exhale, overhead. Inhale to rise. And exhale out to the side. Now, keeping your right arm out to the side, pick up both knees and your left arm and come over to rest on your right side and let the head touch the floor too. Okay, so what you're going to do now is keep the legs stable, so hips and knees are stable. And when you inhale, sweep your left arm past your left ear like this, and exhale, rotate to open towards a twist. And then inhale, roll your left arm back towards your head, reach your left hand past your right. And make it like a windshield wiper, so you can move with the inhale and the exhale. Either one is okay in both directions. Usually we exhale into the twist. But if you find yourself inhaling into your twist, that's okay too. Reach past your right hand with your left. And invite the twist to get like a little bit more of a radius as you're going open to your left. Perhaps it goes one more degree farther. But do please keep your legs stable. Open the left hemisphere of your body here. One more time, twist open to your left. And stay for a few breath cycles. I know that your left arm is probably not reaching the floor. It's okay. I believe you can be responsible for it. Press the back of your right arm down against the floor. Press the back of your right elbow down. Please keep your knees stacked as you turn your head and heart to your left. And then one more time, take your left arm up overhead, past your left ear, meet up with your right hand, and then roll onto your back side. And when you roll onto your back, we're going to go the other way. So check that you've got room to your left. And keeping your left arm on the floor, pick up your right arm and your knees and go across. And then sweep your right arm past your right ear and open your twist to your right, whatever distance it goes as you begin. And then inhale to reach overhead and take your right arm past your left. And exhale to open. And again, if it's the inhale to open or the exhale, you can vary that. Let your body and your breath be your guide. And don't worry too much about how far you're going on the first few. It's kind of like warming up the windshield wipers. So that as you're reaching, you accept the range of motion while keeping both legs stable. Don't disguise the outcome for yourself. And one more time, as you reach over with your right arm, open the right side of the waist, and let's stay a few breath cycles in the twist. Please keep your right knee stacked on your left knee. You have to be deliberate about that, because if your right shoulder has a limitation, it's going to feel like pulling from your right hip to your right side waist. But I would like you to really not disguise the information that your body is giving you. And now float your right arm up and overhead, and please lie on your back with your knees bent. Place yourself back in the center of your blanket. You're right where you want to be. Clasp your hands behind your head, and raising your head just to the height of your heart, I'm going to ask you to rotate over to your right shoulder blade, rotate onto your back, and rotate over to your left shoulder blade. Rotate onto your back. Keep the knees and feet grounded, and let's do this twice more. Rotate to your right. It's like a sideways sit-up. Roll onto your back. You're massaging the upper back also. You rotate to your left. Come onto your back. Last one, keep your head level with your heart where you start, and rotate to your right. Rotate onto your back. Rotate to your left. Rotate onto your back. Release your head back to the floor. Take your arms overhead. Stretch your legs out. And you can delight in any pleasant sensations, but without clinging for them. Observe any unpleasant sensations, but without condemning them. Okay, and let's roll to the side, please. And come over onto your abdomen for Salambhasana again. So you can put your blanket aside. And once more, I'm going to ask you that when you lie down, please put the legs together for this experiment. So legs together, inner thighs touching, big toes touching. Take your arms back alongside your torso. Turn your head to your right. Okay, with the inhale, float your arms wide and rise up. And exhale, roll down. Turn your head to your right, left, excuse me, turn to your left. The inhale, glide up. Exhale, roll down. Again, inhale to rise. And exhale to lower. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Up to table. Okay, back to downward facing dog. And then one big step forward, followed by the other big step forward. Step to the front of your mat, please. We're going to come into Surya Namaskar. So enjoy your hamstrings for a moment here. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms wide, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, now for Surya Namaskar, let's see what kind of freedom your upper back can have here. So inhale, sweep your hands down, wide and up. Please look up, root your tailbone. And then exhale, and we're going to do a little rotation to come down. Exhale, rotate left and down. Inhale, rotate right and up. Good. Exhale, rotate right and down. Inhale, rotate left and up. And then exhale, center on the way down. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale to rise. Listen for any sense of freedom that you have created in your heart. Exhale to descend. Inhale, step forward with your left foot, heart forward. Exhale, right foot back. Inhale to rise. Pace your breath and your body to coordinate, to synchronize. Inhale backwards, downward dog. Exhale forward, plank pose. Inhale in plank pose. Exhale, bend your elbows. Come onto the floor. Okay, this time, inhale, raise up, lift your legs and separate them as wide as your hips. And then exhale to lower down. Toes under. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog pose. Enjoy your inhalation here. And exhale, step forward, one foot, second foot, Uttanasana. And inhale to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale back to the heart. So that's the basics of our sun salutation today. We're going to repeat it now and bring in this inner quality of intention for accepting the what is of the present moment. And so set into your Ujjayi breath now. Bring the sound into the inner ear. When you feel that sound is established, let it be like the white noise between you and the part of you that would want to orchestrate beyond the present moment. The white noise between you and your inner commentary, what you like, what you don't like. And let's inhale, sweep the hands down, wide and up. Keep your legs steady, rotate left and come down. Inhale, rotate right and rise up. Exhale, right and down. Inhale, left and up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Left toes back, exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, descend. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, right toes back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, wide and forward. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, plank pose. We're going to stay in plank pose for the inhale too. Now very gracefully exhale down, chaturanga. Point your toes. Inhale, salambasana. Raise your arms and your legs. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, back to your downward dog pose. We're going to stay here for the inhale. Exhale, awkward foot forward first. Second foot forward. And deeply bow to Uttanasana. Inhale, right and rise. Exhale, left and descend. Inhale, left and rise. Exhale, right and descend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now relax the breath altogether. So you're just going to be watching what is happening. Inhale to exhale. And notice inside, deeper than the breath, deeper than your heart rate, deeper than your body temperature. What is the quality of your mind for noticing these things? What is the quality of your witness, your observer? And then you can release your hands. And I'd like you to have 2 yoga blocks and a blanket, please. So the blanket is going to be for your knees. And I will recommend that you have it folded to go under your knees. The blocks are going to go in front of you for your elbows. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is a variation on the puppy dog pose. It's my intention to help you now get the diaphragm and the upper back to collaborate so that we could practice the pranayama again to see if inhale and exhale are more naturally equal to each other. So what you're going to do is you have these 2 blocks, place them so you would have long arms for table pose, but then come down to your elbows on the middle of the blocks. And turn your palms face up, please. And then you're going to put the palms up like you're praying as you move the hips back. So the two palms can meet each other. As you glide your hips back, try to keep the elbows reaching forward on these two blocks. Now in this first position here for the breath, you might notice, where does your body breathe from? Like what is happening inside? And if you're accustomed to doing more chest breathing than belly breathing, you might find this is a little bit difficult position. So I'm going to ask you to relax the weight of your head, but don't let it drop too much lower than your upper arms. Glide your hips back and try lengthening the sides of your waist, left side and right side. And allow the breath to expand across the back hemisphere of your body, like you're using the back of your diaphragm. One more time, please. And then please come forward. So you're going to do now palms face up again. So it's like you're on your elbows in preparation for plank pose. Take your right toes straight back, left toes straight back. Notice that you have to tone the belly muscles now. So lift the base of your skull to tone the front of your throat. Lift the low belly to tone the front of the abdomen. And also lift right at the front of your floating ribs. So you could have a sense that your kidneys are gently expanding on the back of the body. And then touch your knees down to your two blankets. And again, you're going to reach backwards with your hips. Put the hands in a prayer position. Now this time when your feet go back like this, your feet and hips are back, I'm going to ask you to swivel both feet to your left and make the right side waist a little bit longer. So you just took your feet to the left side of your mat. Everything else is pretty much the same, but your right hip will try to follow your feet. That's a good thing. We have a C shape into the right hemisphere of the body. Then bring your feet back to center. Now swivel both feet to your right and lengthen your left hip back. And try to breathe into the left hemisphere of your body. And you might, of course, be noticing that one shoulder is different than the other. One rib cage feels different, left or right. Then roll your feet back to center. And once more, come forward and step to plank pose on your elbows without making the fingers tense. Tone the low belly. Press firmly down into your elbows. So the upper shoulder, mid-shoulder girdle, the base of the shoulder, the tip of the shoulder blade, they're all working together. And then touch your knees down. Now place your palms on these two blocks. Walk them forward like the puppy dog pose from earlier in class. And as you reach your hips back, please let your head just rest between your upper arms here. And see if you can find an inhale, exhale length that might be more equal, not less equal. One more time. And then walk your blocks and your hands back. With your knees elevated, touch your hips to your heels. So that's the beginning of child's pose. Stack one block here for your head. And if possible, your elbows can come down to the floor, palms face up. If you don't bend your knees this much for any reason, You can do your child's pose by sitting in one chair and then bowing forward to the other chair, and let there be some contact between your thighs and your torso so that the breath is able to broaden into the back and sides of your waist. Please do support your head so it's about the same height as your neck. And let's try it here to have a couple breath cycles where the inhale and exhale are kind of equal. Again, please. Now place your hands by your knees on your blanket. Press yourself up to kneeling. Put the 2 blocks in preparation. We're going to take the blanket. Let's put it down here for the knees. So you've got your folded blanket for your knees here. We're going to do a back bend that we did yesterday in class. And I think it was in your, I can't remember which class it was. But this goes on the medium setting right here, and your shoulder blades will be right on the edge of this. Okay. Now, I might not have guessed where my knees are going to end up very well, but maybe I got it. So we'll see. That's not too bad. Okay, so the block under your upper back is on the medium setting right there. And the block under your head is on the tall setting. And I'd like you to have, so your arms can go out to the side and they can be relaxed. I have to scooch my blanket for my knees a little closer. So just use your foot dexterity for that. So this could be a resting pose. We will do some resting here, but we're also going to use an active approach to this because some of you are asking questions about your upper back and your neck, and others are asking questions about the breath. So let's do this. While you're resting here, sweep the arms out so that you have the back of your fingers on the floor. And try setting your shoulders down, not just your elbows, but move your shoulders down towards the floor. Keep the elbows straight. So press each shoulder back towards the floor. Now inhale, float your arms up to about the same height as your shoulders. And when your hands are the same height as the shoulders, press your shoulders down towards the floor again. It should cause a little lift to your heart. The neck and throat can be relaxed. Start raising your arms up towards the ceiling. The arms could feel like a little bit heavy. That might be an okay experience for you to have. They'll get lighter as they come up over the shoulders. And then bend your elbows, reach back to take this block and take the corner of this block and put it under your occipital ridge. Okay? So you're going to hold it there for a few, you're on the corner of the block. And as you hold it there, press your head gently back against the beveled edge of the block. And then bring your chin down towards your throat. Then press your head back against the beveled edge of the block without actually moving the block. Bring your chin down towards your throat. Press your head back against the block. Let the chin come slightly up, but don't drop the block too far. Bring your chin down towards your throat. Now rotate your chin to your right armpit. Roll back across the center. You're going to rotate your chin towards your left armpit. Roll your head back to center. Press your head back against the beveled edge of the block. Turn your nose towards your right elbow. Nose back to center. Nose towards your left elbow. Nose back to center. Okay. Make the block stable again. Rest your head there, and let's see when the arms go overhead. How much freedom do you feel like you have between your heart and your throat? And now cross your elbows to hold the opposite elbow with the opposite hand. And during the inhale, I'm going to ask you to imagine that you're pulling the elbows away from the rib cage, so you're gliding like the inner body is more spacious. And see what length your inhale can have here. And during the exhale, focus on the tone deep inside your low belly, just above your pubic bone. Notice that that has an effect on your shoulders. Everything's tied together. Inhale again. And exhale to tone the low belly. Now reach around and hold the block to turn it to the medium setting. And see if you can place your fingers around the edge of the block so it's on the medium setting. So when you come down, you're going to put your head on the block and the block on your fingers. Yes. Pull your elbows up towards the ceiling and away from your ears. Press your head gently back into the block. So what you've got is that your chin is very slightly lifting, and as you press the head back, you're actually strengthening the back of your neck extensors. But you're also securing your fingers to the floor, so squeeze the elbows in, up, and overhead. And take a deep breath in. Exhale. And then release this block to the flat setting and come overhead. And open the arms wide. And bring your hands down to place them under your hips. Press into both hands. Bring your head forward. Look forward, rise up, blocks aside. And come down. For Shavasana, put the blocks like this so that you're going to put them under the back of your wrists. And that is to help your shoulders drop back towards the floor a bit more. Good job following all that. So when you're resting now, focus on allowing your heart and your shoulders, the back of your heart, the back of your shoulders, to really fully reach the floor. And for the mind to come into this inner acceptance, a wise acceptance of the present moment. So you allow the sensations of the present moment to be as they are, recognizing most of this activity you are not orchestrating. You are witnessing. Let your mind deeply relax, particularly the habit of preferring the present moment to be different. Allow your attention to rest in the present moment, not moving like a moth at the light, but resting steadily like the center of the flame. Invite the mind to get quieter yet again, acting not like the moth to the flame, but like the center, the stillness at the center of the flame. And keeping your mind quiet like this, you spend one knee at a time. Roll to your right. Come up to your seat. I'd like us to explore the breath together for a couple of minutes. So when you come up, please make a pyramid shape between your hands and your knees, your seat, and your spine. most thoughtful and subtle form of your Ujjayi breath, I'd like you to use the subtle Ujjayi during your inhale and gently count the pace of the inhalation. When you arrive at the top of the breath, please close the right nostril and exhale left side only, longer than your inhale. Inhale both nostrils. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale both. Close the right, exhale left. One more, inhale both. Exhale right. And then rest in the possibility of quiet in the mind. And come into the quiet wisdom of the heart and asking here, what is life requesting of you? What's being summoned in response to local events, societal events, global events? And join your hands together at your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.